Americans of Reddit, is everyone just drowning in debt or do you earn ridiculous amount of money? It's also worth noting that the US is a huge country and so different regions can be much more affordable to live in than others. Some regions in some of the southern states you can buy enormous properties for amounts that wouldn't get you a starter home in most places. Interior design shows are almost laughably fake here. Like, he's a newspaper delivery boy and she fits goats for contact lenses, and their budget for a house is 1.2 M. No. We earn about 80K a year with 2 people working. Our biggest debts are our student loans and we are definitely drowning in it. We manage though. Right now, food prices are what's hurting us the most. I mean, it is absolutely ridiculous here. The people you are watching are wealthy and do not at all represent the majority of Americans. Personally, my spouse and I live within our means. Our only debt is a single car payment. If we want something to make our house nicer or more comfortable, we save for it or prioritize it over eating out or expensive foods at the store. We save all year for our vacation too. The image you are getting of Americans is very cherry-picked and highly distorted. People on interior design vlogs and shows are not your typical American. Please remember that there are approximately 330 million Americans. We come in all shapes and sizes, and all economic circumstances. I earn a lot, relatively speaking, and I live well under my means, so I can pretty much do or buy anything I want, within reason. Too many Americans suffer from an effect we call keeping up with the Joneses, which means many people families try to appear to be as successful and/or wealthy as their neighbors and/or peers, so much so they put themselves into soul-crushing debt to look good in the short term and not considering the long-term effects. I have a cheap no-frills house and a reasonable generic car for the US. Because of that, I have an extra 2-3K USD a month to spend on whatever I want, but I usually just invest it. Twice a year I'll go on holiday for a week or so and that's about it. First, I make a lot of money. Second, I live in a tiny house with a roommate who pays rent. I actually undercharge, but she does still pay rent. We both benefit and I don't have to live alone. The consequences are I save a lot. My goal is for retirement to be comfortable. There are 25 million millionaires in America, so yay, there's just a lot of very rich people. Top 10 of income in America puts you in the top 1-3 in almost any European country. Taxes are lower, real estate is cheaper. Stuff just costs less. German cars cost less in America, which is just fucking sad. I'm neither. No debt and not rich. Huge amounts of debt is common, but more likely that people with small or ugly houses don't post them. I don't have any debt aside from my house. Collages? You should see the price of portraits. Also remember we're poor and we can barely afford a home. Look how boring this trailer is. Won't make a very good show. Most people I know make vastly more than Europeans do. A guy that works on projects for me makes 200K in design and web development with us alone and has plenty of other clients of his own. We have to buy our own insurance and save for our own retirements, so it's not apples to apples, but we do make more. I am speaking as a person in their early 20s who lives in a decent to low cost of living area with relatively low taxes. People my age are scraping by. Let's say you get a job that's nothing special, entry level, maybe you stay at it a couple of years and get some raises that are above the inflation curve. My friends in those situations are usually able to afford all of their bills and groceries, and some of them live in nicer apartments if they have a partner. But beyond that they are broke at the end of the month. No disposable income. At least around me, people are not in debt yet, but they do not have disposable income at all. This goes for my single friends and couples. One difference between rich and poor people is rich people take calculated risks with debt. They are not drowning in it. They use debt to pay for assets that help build their wealth. One example is you could have taken out a loan after the market crashed in 2020 and put all the money in the SP 500 and you'd be up 123 paying 5 annual interest. It seems like it based on what I see on Reddit, but I personally don't know anyone who is. I know I'm doing just fine. I am American and hardworking, but not what you describe. I try to make sure my kids have what they need and live a modest life, free of debt if possible. You're watching the wrong shows. Most people get by with less. A 30-year-old 1,500 FT2 house or living in an apartment, or at home with the parents, or a Toyota, sandwiches at home, and more community college instead of a grossly overpriced state university. The biggest swinger right now is housing, but that's largely driven by a lack of low to medium cost inventory. Huge debt gets normalized because it's so easy to accumulate, and because some people watch those same idiotic house flipping architectural digest circle jerks. Not in any debt at all, but still drowning due to high rent, expensive groceries, transportation costs.